All right, let's do this thing. You click the button and you kind of see what happens. Hopefully something beautiful happens. How's everybody doing? Me, not so great. It's been a day. It's been a week. It's been a month. It's been a year so far. Not a whole lot to complain about. Just a lot. That's the best way to say it. I don't have any plan tonight. Tonight's plan is to hang out with you and see what happens. Hopefully we can get mixed up in all kinds of shenanigans here tonight and have a little bit of fun. No Lisa tonight. I apologize. On her behalf, I apologize. You will see her in the chat. She just had to run to the store and she got back real fast and she was like, I'm here. I can be in the chat. Thank you, Melissa Jeswald and Alice B and anybody else that said that the audio video is good. Zen Ginger, thank you very much. The audio is not good. I forgot to mute my computer so that you don't hear all of my notifications that come through. So the story with Lisa goes like this. When we bought our house, it's a 177-year-old house, and there were people living in it. And these were not dirty people. They were not nasty people. But we wanted to clean the house up prior to moving into it, as you would. The realtor that represented us in the sale of this house had told us, to our surprise, that she was going to hire a cleaning service to come out and clean the house before we moved in. We said, yay. And then it never really worked out. It wasn't her fault. It was just circumstances being what they are. So Lisa and our oldest daughter went down there this week. It's not even the weekend. Went down there for the last 2 days, just tidying things up a little bit more. It was pretty daggone clean, but they went in there and did the deep stuff that the previous people may have missed. So she just got back within the hour of now. And it's not going to work today for her to be on here. Hopefully it works with me on here, but it's not going to work for her. So you're just going to have to deal with me today, and I apologize for that. I know how difficult that can be, and I will watch as the numbers plummet today. This is starting to become the slow season anyway. And then on top of that, you've got the fact that it's just me. And I know you all do not come here on Thursday. This is my world right now. You don't come here on Thursday nights just to hang out with me. I know that. I'm well aware of what I've got. Hashtag Mulmy. Is that what we've got going on here today? That's a funny one. At least it's better than the one that we sent everybody to last week. The butt funk one. Yeah. Somebody just commented, is the video fuzzy? Shouldn't be. On my end, it looks as if everything is perfectly clear. I hope it stays that way. Eva, sometimes if you just refresh, it'll fix that. Maybe it just didn't make a good connection to the stream, and that should be all that you have to do. There's only 48,316 people here, John. We must get Lisa on the screen. Yeah, I know. Wait, what are you talking about? There's 55,112. Wow. The numbers just keep on climbing. And I know, within the next 15 minutes or so, there's probably going to be somewhere around 80 to 90,000 people watching this. And they're going to be looking for Lisa. And I don't blame them. But here we are with it just being me today. You may get the opportunity to see an angel in the tank behind me. I don't know where he is. Oh, he's in there. He's pure, straight jet black, completely black. He's actually right there, but you can't see him because he's black and the background is black. And he blends in really, really well. He's a fish that likes to hide in the shadows. So yeah, but anyway, you'll see him come out. He'll come out here in front of the green plants and stuff. Those are not real plants. They're fake plants. You remember me putting that tank together? Hey, KG, what's the best combo with a Betta in a 10-gallon tank? Well, you know what? I value my marriage, and I want to stay married. So I'm going to say snails. Snails are a no-brainer. They're no threat to anybody, and as long as they're big enough, there's no threat to them. I mean, if they're super, super micro small, and the beta's big enough, it could be a problem. But that's usually not going to be the case. Beta's usually going to leave them alone, and they should be fine. Check him out. He's just like, hey, he's looking for the angel too. See. So, okay, let me update you on the new place. Not a lot has changed. The channel members the other day were able to get a little peek at the progress that has been made. We're close. I mean, we have to be, because 1 week from Saturday, we're moving all of these tanks. And I'm starting, the closer we get, I know this sounds weird because it should be the other way around, but the closer we get, the better I feel about it. And it's basically because more and more and more people are volunteering to come help out. We've got some big names in the YouTube community that are coming out, which is a complete and total shock to me. Whips World has said he's coming, and Eric Furlow from Furlow's Aquatics. They are two crazy people, and you want to know what's even crazier? Eric Furlow has a friend, I think his name's Eddie, that's coming with him, and I've never even met that guy. He could walk in the room right now. I wouldn't know it's Eddie. Never seen the guy before in my life. But apparently he's going to make the trip cross country, up country. It's not really cross country because he's coming up from Florida. They're gonna come up and help us on the North Carolina end. But here, I do have enough. Well, there's never enough. When you're moving big giant tanks like these, there's never enough. But I think we'll make it. I think we'll be able to manage. That is going to be next Saturday, not 2 days from now, but the one after that. We're moving the tanks, and then moving. No, excuse me. I just said that. Yeah, no, I didn't. I said it right. We're moving the business a week from tomorrow, and then the tanks a week from Saturday. So I'll be moving down, and Lisa will, and we're going to have some help for that too. We're going to be moving down all of our product that we sell on the website. All of the betas are going to move down. We'll talk about the beta system in a minute. And then the next day, we're taking the tanks down. So that's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to load up a 26-foot U-Haul truck on next Friday. Drive it down 3.5 hours to North Carolina, which it'll probably take more like 4.5 in a 26-foot U-Haul truck. And then unload all of the business. I'm not going to worry about getting it all organized and stuff like that. It's going to basically be get it out of the truck and then get back in the truck, drive it back up here. And then the next day, load up all the tanks and take them down. Now, you might think I'm crazy, and I would have thought the same thing. My initial plan was get the U-Haul truck, drive it down with the business in it, unload everything, then drop the truck off down there, and then come back up, get another truck, load the tanks up, drive down. The problem is, I don't know if it has to do with current. I don't know. I don't know what it is. The big trucks from U-Haul are extraordinarily hard to get right now. And so the lady told me when I went to reserve the truck today, she said, I'm going to be honest with you. You're going to be lucky to get one. If I were you, you've got 2 days with the truck. I would just hold on to it. It's going to cost you more in gas. It's going to cost you because once you go over a certain amount, you have to pay per mile with U-Haul. But it's going to end up costing you less money, and you're guaranteed. Once you have the truck, you're guaranteed to keep it. So that's how we're going to end up doing that. That's going to be a lot of driving. I'm going to feel like one of those big rig truckers because we're getting the biggest U-Haul available. And that's, it's going to be 26-foot U-Haul full of betas will be hijacked by me. It's going to be a whole lot more than just betas in there. But I think we probably have, I'm going to guess 150 to 175 betas right now, maybe more. I'm not sure. So you'd be getting a haul, Rustic Nashville. Please don't do that. You've already got like 175, so you do not need to steal all of those. But so the beta system, channel members have seen the progress on the beta system. I got to tell you, I am thrilled with the system. I'm thrilled with the way it looks right now. It's not done. It's not even close to being done. And it's because we still do not have the tanks. And I'm starting to get worried that when the tanks are finally delivered, it's going to be after we move. And that's not going to be good. Fortunately, we're very close to our neighbors. And we've got a son that lives a couple of miles down the road. He could come over here, load them up into the back of his truck and put them in his garage or something. If that were the case, I don't know. I haven't checked today. I check every day. It's one of the first things I do every morning to see if UPS has them yet, if they've made it to land in the United States yet. And as of yesterday, at least, they hadn't. So once that's done, or excuse me, once we get the tanks, then I can drill them all, 300 of them. That's going to be fun. Put all of the plumbing into each individual tank, and then I can plumb the whole system, and then it'll be ready to go. But what we do have now is the shelves are up. The lights will go up this weekend. I actually had lights. I was going to put it up not last weekend, and I didn't like them. So I ordered new ones. We're going to use the ones I had somewhere else. Just use them kind of like accent lighting. You may not really be able to tell, but you know what a lot of those streamers do? They have like those colored LEDs in the backgrounds that make their backgrounds look deeper and more colorful. Well, I kind of have that here. I have a blue one, so it kind of makes the wall look blue, but the walls are gray. So we might be able to do something like that with those lights that I already have, rather than returning them to Amazon or whatever. But I got some new ones. I'll be putting those on this weekend. And then the system will be, at least structurally, it'll be there. So that when we bring the betas down next week, I can at least put them on those shelves. And we don't have to take the shelves that we have now down there. They can just go straight to the dump. I mean, they're older. They're not the best looking. We'll just throw them away. It's not a big deal. But the tanks will be up on the shelves. They just won't be tied into any plumbing. It'll be the current tanks that we already have. We'll have those up there. And I'm going to be honest with you. I kind of like it happening this way. I kind of like being where I'll be there. We get the tanks, and then I can work on them and get the project done, rather than having a timeline where I've got to have them all done this weekend because I got to drive back to Virginia, and I can just work on them. And you know, I'm the kind of person, when I start a project, I lose my mind until it's done. And that will happen for sure, but I won't have that pressure of a deadline on it. I want to get it done as quick as possible, but I won't have to have that kind of a stress. So I'm excited about doing it that way. But it'll look good with the betas just on the shelves. I just hope they don't stay that way for months and months and months. You know how things can go. By the time the tanks get to us, we will have been started on a bunch of other projects and stuff. I really hope that doesn't happen. Lisa's not going to let me do that. The way she would do it, her strategy is very simple. Her strategy would be, well, then I'm going to do it. Which would make me say, no, you're not going to do it. You're going to mess it up. Here, let me do it. And then that's how she would get me to do it. But she won't have to do that. I'll do it. So let me get a couple of these here caught up here. Rustic Nashville for pine sol and bleach. Yes, she used quite a bit of that this weekend to get things tidied up. Like I said, I'm a man. I'm not all that picky. I could have moved in the way it was. But she was like, nope, my man is not moving into that house in the condition that it's in. So Thankfully, I have somebody like her around. Callan Shepard, now that Elon is done buying Twitter, did he ever deliver your brackets? I don't know. He was supposed to deliver them yesterday. I'm going to need Lisa to confirm that. I'm glad you brought it up, Callan, because I forgot to ask her. They were supposed to deliver it yesterday. They delivered it to the North Carolina house, and she was there. I wasn't, so I'm going to need her to confirm that. Did we get a package from my good friend Elon, the richest man in the world, Lisa, the new owner of Twitter? Should I start using my Twitter account now? I don't know. Twitter has never really been a thing for me. I think I have 2,500 followers on there or something. I don't know why. I don't know why I have 2,500 followers. I've never posted on Twitter that I know of. I don't know. Lisa said no? Wait a minute. Did she say it didn't get there yesterday? I need to find out. Lisa Marie, she didn't answer it that long ago, did she? Didn't check for one. Oh, okay. And I can't check it right now. It was supposed to be delivered there yesterday. But anyway, I don't know if any of you all are users on Twitter. I've never been somebody that's ever been interested in Twitter because social media is just bad for me. I realize I'm talking to you on social media right now, but I look at this differently. I'm trying to spread education and awareness about this hobby. I'm not sharing my life with you, even though in giving you the information that I have, I kind of am sharing my life with you. And I've sat here talking for the last 17 minutes about my life. So I guess I'm really just lying to you to your face right now. But I'm not into people posting their food that they're eating that night. And I just, that side of social media is not my thing. And certainly people expressing their political beliefs are something I am not interested in whatsoever. So I have avoided Twitter because all I ever hear is how much of a cesspool it is. But now, if things are going to be different, I don't know. I believe in Elon. I love that man. Isolate that and make a meme out of it. I think he is one of the most fascinating human beings on planet Earth. And he's the richest human being on planet Earth. So, if Elon says do it, I will do it. And, if he wants to buy, or he's bought Twitter, obviously he sees something in it. Maybe I will. I don't know. But I've never known anybody to post like videos of fish and stuff like that on Twitter. But who knows? Maybe that'll change now with this big thing happening here. I don't know. And I don't know why I have followers on Twitter because I've never put anything on there. Jennifer Anderson, #Toot Talk. If you know, you know. I vaguely remember something last week happening about that. Oh, Toot Talk. I mean, that's was that yesterday, actually? Yeah. Listen, it's always going to be funny to me. Always. It always will. The scene in Step Brothers, you know the one. Is that ketchup? That's one of my favorite scenes ever in a movie. So, Toot Talk here all day long. Leslie Perry, can goldfish actually die because of too high a flow filter? It's a Tidal 55 in a 30-gallon. Bought 3 fantails. 2 have died. No signs of illness or injury. Replaced with 2 sponge filters. 3rd fish seems fine. I personally, Leslie, have not ever had there be an issue with flow with goldfish. I've never had that. Now, with yours, if you saw the fish struggling to swim and always working real hard to be able to stay upright and stay in place, it could have been. But I can tell you this. A 30-gallon with a Tidal 55 on it, that's a big filter on that tank. And we're going to need to talk about filters here in a minute. But I have a Fluval 407 on my Goldfish tank. It's a 75 gallon. That thing moves some water, and it's never been an issue for them. I've never had them complain about it. I've never had them look like they're struggling about it. Maybe, well, I mean, it says you bought 3 fantails, 2 have died. Maybe they just weren't right to begin with. I mean, that's certainly a possibility. Goldfish are so overly bred, and I'm very, very sorry to hear that happened with you, Leslie. But that's a story I've heard quite a bit. And I've had that in my tank. The 3 I have right now, I've had for like 2 years, and they've been great. No issues whatsoever. But I've lost goldfish before, and it sucks because they're so adorable and they have these personalities. If they died early, then maybe they just weren't right to begin with. I hope that makes you feel better. Wanted to talk about filters for a second because something has happened, and it's become kind of a trend over the last couple of weeks. I've gotten emails that are similar, and I'm okay. I don't know how to say this. I talk about my love of the tidal filters all the time. I made a video about them. I made 3 videos, in fact, about the tidal filter. One was when I reviewed all of the filters, and it was my favorite one. So then 6 months later, we start the website back up again. Naturally, that's the filter I'm going to carry because it's my favorite one. And then I did another one. So I did a video about that one with the best thumbnail on my channel, me holding it up with all the people reaching up at me. I'm a genius. What can I say? And I really think that thumbnail has sold a lot of filters. But then I did another one after that, which was basically like, what type of media and stuff like that should you use? So I guess I've done 3 videos on the titles, but I've done a lot of videos on hang on the back filters. And something that I get a lot is people will ask me, John, I have this tank and it's great. Everything's wonderful, but I just feel like maybe it needs more. And I watched your video about the tidal. In fact, I think I got one today with this question. Now, I watched your video on the tidal, and I really think I want one of those. Which size do you think I should get? And I think the guy had like a 15 gallon or something like that. It was a smaller tank, and I get that a lot. I get that so much. I got a 10 gallon. Would it be too much to put a tidal 55 on there? And sometimes I'm like, is this person joking? Like, are they pulling my leg right now? Are you putting me on? This guy wasn't. I mean, this guy was sincere in his question. And maybe it was a 20 gallon and he had a 35 on it. Maybe Leslie Perry's message is getting me a little confused. I don't know. He wanted to put a 35 on it. And I emailed him back and I said, listen, as much as I would love to sell you a filter, I think it would be a mistake. Because what you have right now is working. What you're doing is you're thinking too hard. You're making this, I didn't say all of these things to him, but you're making this more difficult than it needs to be. I know I've been guilty of this. So many of us are guilty of this. We see something that catches our eye on the internet. Maybe that thumbnail with me holding the filters. And maybe that caught his eye and he was like, huh, what's that? Or maybe he was on our website. That thumbnail is on the homepage of our website. Maybe he saw that and he's like, oh, let me check that out. Thank you for that, by the way. But then he's like, I like that. It looks like it makes a lot of sense. John really likes it. It looks like a great filter. I think I want to buy one. That might be a mistake. The tidal filter is amazing. It's the best on the market as far as I'm concerned. But if your tank is perfect now, and he sent me a picture of his tank, and it looks great. If your tank is doing really well, why do you need to mess it up? Why do you need to try to find something else to do with it? You might kill everything in there. You had plants in there, fish, all kinds of stuff. The tank was alive. It was beautiful. If you do a major change like that, it might not be that way anymore. And listen, I make a living talking about these things on videos, and I make a living. We don't pay ourselves anything from the website yet, but grand scheme of things, as far as Uncle Sam looking at our income, the website is part of that. So, I make a living selling aquarium supplies and filters and fish and food. But I'm the person that will tell you, if your tank is fine, don't buy a new filter for it. I mean, I get the emails from time to time where it's, I got a 55 gallon and I have 12 yellow labs in there. That's a great tank. I have 12 yellow labs in there and they're breeding like crazy. And within the next probably 6 months, I'm going to have about 30 in there. I mean, they're just reproducing like crazy. So I want to upgrade my filtration. I want to get something that I can see. Like, you're seeing a problem coming down the road. But if you have all males in there and your fish are all getting along and they're all healthy, they're all eating and the water is clear and everything looks great, why screw it up? I want to sell you a filter, but I don't want to sell you a filter if it's going to hurt things. So I've seen that so much. Leslie Perry, your message has nothing to do with this. It's just talking about the Title 55 is what sparked my memory on this. I don't care what is filtering your water. If it's a sponge filter, if it's a under gravel filter, if it's Dr. Novak's filter, whatever all of that is, I don't care. If your aquarium is healthy and happy and thriving, don't screw it up. Don't see something flashy and say, I must have that, because you may end up doing more harm than good. As much as I want to sell you a filter, I'd rather not if it's going to screw things up. I hope that makes sense. This is why all due respect to Lisa, this is why I like doing live streams by myself, because I can go off on little tangents like this and there's nobody that's going to interrupt me or stop me. Melissa Jeswald said, for extra strength, Bengay or Salon Paws. Salon Paws. I'm exhausted watching what you've done so far. Amazing. Thank you. Thank you very much. The work is not the exhausting part. It's the back and forth. It's the living in two different places. It's that's the hard part. And that's going to be over for me in 1 week. That's the game plan here. Lisa has people that are going to be staying here with her while I am down there for 2 weeks by myself. I'm not looking forward to that because that's going to be boring. She won't even let me take any of the animals down because she says, then if you take the dogs down with you, which my dogs are right here, they're laying right there. They're always with me. They're stuck to me. If you take them down, they're gonna take that house as theirs, and then when we bring all of the other animals down, they're gonna show their dominance. And she's right, but at the same time, it's like, come on, I don't want to be down there by myself. But it is true. I'm going to be coming up here several times. One for our youngest's graduation, can't miss that, and then his graduation party. And then I'll be coming up here on the weekends. I'll basically be doing what I'm doing now, but in reverse. And that's the hard part. That's the struggle is being in one place and then the next day being in the next. And that's for the birds. I will never do that again. John, you have Jasper. Yeah, but you won't let me have her in the house. Wait a minute. Somebody called me a class act. Oh, it's Alex. How about that? John, good for you for not overselling products / snake oil or snake oil on steroids for that matter. I mean, listen, like I said, I told that guy in his email, I said, as much as I'd like to sell you a filter, I think you'd be better off if I didn't. And that's, listen, I want to sell 1,000 filters a month. I want to sell 150 filters a day, but I don't want to do that. I don't want to weasel anybody. I mean, that's just not my style. I'd rather miss out on a few orders and know everything's okay than to just be pumping stuff. I mean, anyway, that's it. Kegger at John's house. Yeah, right. If it's a kegger of Coca-Cola or a what is it called in the game? If it's a shield keg from Fortnite, there'll be a lot of those. I'm going to be down there by myself. What else am I going to do but play Fortnite? Of course. The dogs have vet appointments. Yeah, that's fine. I don't want to be down there by myself. Is Fishy Biz in here? That dude called me. Thank you, Lisa. I appreciate. Oh, okay. He called me the other day, which he knows better. He knows not to call me. It has nothing to do with him. I don't care who it is. I mean, my mom, one of the kids, Lisa, my sister, my brother, my other sister, pretty much the only people I'm going to pick up the phone if they call. And Drew knows that. I tell him that all the time. I don't answer the phone when he calls me. I don't say hello. I say, why are you calling me? But he did it anyway. He called me the other day, and I was in the middle of packing orders, and so I couldn't answer his phone. But I told him we would talk that night, and we didn't. So that's a shame. Kent Hall, what a cool name. That's my dad's name. How about that? And my nephew that I play Fortnite with every night. His name's Kent too. What's the fish right behind you to your left side in the small tank next to the desk? Those are Congo tetras. What is the video we did recently where I talked about Congos? We did a video recently, and I showed them a lot. I'm going to get you the title of that right now. It was recent, and I think Congos might have even been in the thumbnail. Well, I did show them in my all 20 tanks. So there you go. Go to the video that I did 2 weeks ago. I shouldn't show you these 20 aquariums. I don't know why I named it that. I've been struggling with YouTube for the last month and a half, trying to get videos out while we're still here and moving and all of that nonsense. I can't wait to be on the other end. The videos I'm going to be making, I'm going to be able to make there. Oh, I can't wait. Now it's basically like, okay, we got to get something out. I don't want to put out trash, but anyway, that's what that was a couple of weeks ago. And I show those in there. I don't know if I did any close-ups, but they're Congo tetras, and there is one black angel in there, and a is it called there's two plecos in there too, but I don't remember the names. Why are you moving to North Carolina? Because it's gorgeous, it's beautiful, and it's hot. That's why. And it's a lot cheaper than Virginia, and we fell in love with the town that it's in, which I'm not going to tell you because internet. It's an old house. It's a pre-Civil War house, which is my dream. And it has buildings on the property to house our business. You will see them within the next couple of weeks. Why not move to NC? Well, that's what we're doing. If you're talking to me, that's kind of sweet. Is it sweaty potato? That's sweaty, right? Ew. Yeah, that's what we've been talking about this whole time. It was me and Lisa. I ain't going by myself, moving to North Carolina. So excited about that. I mean, I don't hate Virginia. I've been born and raised here, but I'm just done with that. I'm done with Virginia. I'm done with the politics of Virginia. I'm done with just the nastiness. I'm done with the traffic. And I'm done with the ridiculously overpriced everything. What we paid for our property down there with almost 5 acres with 3,000 square feet worth of buildings, 2 buildings, there's the house, and then there's 2 additional buildings that one is going to be our fish house and the other is going to be our warehouse. All of that on almost 5 acres, we paid less than we would pay for this house that we're living in right now on a half acre. That's why. And it's beautiful. And I love North Carolina. And there you go. Formerly Mike's Turn to Aquatics. Okay, the new one is Our Aquatic Universe with Mike B. This old fish house is going to be amazing. You should so use that as a channel name somehow, some way. Oh, I would love to do that so much. If I was just getting started, I would 100% do that. But KG Tropicals is KG Tropicals. And it's, we've made a name for ourselves. Over 400,000 subscribers. If we changed, I don't know if that would damage our channel. Joey did it. But But that was... Joey's channel was a lot smaller than mine when he made the change. And I want to say he had like... I think he had under 100,000 subscribers. I'm going to ask him right now on stream. I'm not going to call him because Joey's Canadian. And he's got a filthy potty mouth when he's not on camera. Let's see if he answers. But I'm just going to text him. Because I'm genuinely interested in this answer. Okay, let's see if he answers. There's Eric Furlow. He's going to be at my house next weekend. Isn't that weird? That's crazy. Joey's usually pretty quick to get back. But he did that. He's the only person that I've known that has done that when his channel was a significant size. If I changed our channel name right now, I think it would be... I don't know. I just think it would be probably damaging to the channel. And I don't want that. You're going to get more tanks with all that space in NC. Yes. But we're still trying to figure all of that out. The space is significantly larger than what we deal with right now, but you have to understand, we have tanks spread out all over the first floor and the basement of this house. We have, 6 of them are 10s, so this number might seem a little high, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 11. There's 11 tanks in the basement, and then there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 here, 2 in the living room, 2 in the kitchen. Add all of that up. Instead of those being spread out across our entire house, they're all going to be in one room. So that room is going to fill up pretty fast. But I have measured everything out and all of that. Some of them are going in Lisa's beta room too, by the way. But there is definitely space for Lisa's new tank. And let me just tell you, Lisa's new tank is going to be a wow tank. Of course it will be. What else would it be? The plans that she has for that, and the tank itself, and the fish and the scape and all of that, it's going to be a showstopper. And there's definitely room for that. That's going to be one of the bigger focal points. Obviously, this is going to be one of the bigger focal points, the two 240s, the two 125s. And see, that's the thing, to compare it to a fish room like the Adams, Primetime Aquatics, or Alex, there are a lot of medium to small tanks. Like the Adams, Primetime Aquatics, they have 70 or 80 something tanks in their basement. But there are a lot of smaller tanks. They've got a lot of 10 gallons and 20 gallons and a couple of low boys and a couple of 125s and stuff like that. But the majority of their tanks are small. The majority of ours are big. So I don't know how it's all going to work out. But one of the things, well, I haven't even talked to y'all about this, or have I? I don't know. The building, the old fish house building that we're working on right now to fill up with all the tanks that we just had a concrete floor poured in it. There's shelves on the walls because this used to be a store, and there's shelves that are on the walls. My plan was to rip those down and get them out of there. Well, as I started ripping them down, I realized each shelf was kind of independent. So I was able to keep the top shelves. So there will be shelves up above the tanks. I don't think they will support aquariums though. We could put some up there, but they'd be so high that you wouldn't be able to enjoy them. They'd be like, even I would have to get on a ladder to even feed the fish. Nobody wants to do that. So I don't think we're going to put tanks up there, but why did it take me this long to answer that question? The answer to the question is yes, there will be room for more tanks. In fact, there's going to be a lot of room for more tanks if we choose to put tanks down the center of the room, which I am going to fight doing. I want to have one of these tables, this table right here. This is an IKEA table. It's the best table in the world. If you're in the market for a desk table, it's the best. You could park a Volkswagen on one of these things. They are very inexpensive. I think they're like $400. I shouldn't call that very inexpensive, but for what it is, and the fact that you could build a house on top of these things and it would hold them up, well worth the money. I want to have one of these going through the center. I have two of them now. One is I'm talking to you on, and the other is here. I've got them in the shape of an L. I want to have one in the center of the room for if we're able to stream out there someday. We will not be streaming out there day one, but if we are able to stream out there down the road, that's where I want to do it from. So obviously that would be going down the center of the room. How would we put tanks there? But the room is 36 feet long, so that still leaves room. Why isn't Joey answering me? What's his problem? Did he show up in the chat? No, because I need to see Joey. We know Joey's not here yet. He usually responds pretty fast. That surprises me. I hope everything's okay. He's probably busy playing with his octopus or something. And I did not mean for that to sound weird. Fish fan 20 gallon long Dixie sends her Betta love. Well, I am so glad to hear that. And I love that name. Moving down farther south than we are right now, that we're going to hear that name a lot more than we do now, I'm sure. Lone Star Aquamom received my snail food and it's a big hit. Thank you. Yes, that is awesome. That is exactly why we picked it up, because if you want to see a pile of snails, throw that food in there and you'll see a big pile of snails. It's absolutely adorable. Just lost my special needs Betta. No, Gandalf to Dropsy. He came down with it last week and put up a valiant fight. I felt a little silly crying over him, but dang, he was a wonderful little fish. Hey, listen, I understand it. I've had some of those moments where you want to let it go a little bit with particular fish. My stingrays did that to me. My arowanas, my big arowanas, back 3 houses ago, when we first started this channel, one of them died on Father's Day, and that was a blow. And the Oscar too. The Oscar. I had a tiger albino that one busted me up when he passed. And then the last one that was the real hard one to deal with was Bubbles. But I had to stay strong for Lisa, who was blubbering over it. I mean, so believe me, I get it. It's terrible. Christine Gautier, I think it's been a while, like you said. Love that song too. Funny, I'm about to move to Connecticut from Georgia. My family is in North Carolina and South Carolina. Good luck with the move. To Georgia from Connecticut, that's way farther than the move I'm going. And I feel for you. I had to go to the U-Haul place today to get the trucks reserved because, I forgot to talk about that. I had a truck reserved for tomorrow because Lisa and I are going to move a bunch of stuff down tomorrow. And I got an email from U-Haul at like 3 o'clock that said, okay, we've got your truck that you reserved for tomorrow and have already paid for. It'll be in Charlottesville, Virginia for you to pick up at 10 a.m. tomorrow morning. Excuse me? Charlottesville is 2 hours away. So you want me to drive 2 hours to pick up the truck, drive 2 hours back, load the truck, then drive 3.5 hours down to North Carolina? No, thank you. I'll pass. And I went to my local That was U-Haul corporate that sent me that email. I went to my local U-Haul place and I said, hey, I was supposed to be picking up a truck here tomorrow morning. They told me it's in Charlottesville. And she said, let me fix that for you. And they got it all worked out for me. So I'm so glad about that. But I was about to have some real bad things to say about U-Haul. Vinaya Sydney became a member along with Love, Dream, and Drone. Welcome to the teams. And then sent along a super chat after that. Ammonia nitrite spike after UV sterilizer. Well, what is a UV sterilizer's primary function? It is to kill bacteria. So you would automatically assume that a UV sterilizer is what caused it, because that's what UV sterilizers do. But I don't think it was that. I've never heard of a UV sterilizer. I could be wrong. There's a lot of things I've never heard. I've never heard of a UV sterilizer causing that because UV sterilizers kill bacteria. However, you're adding something to the tank. You're adding another structure to the tank, which adds surface area to the tank. When you add something big to a tank, sometimes it can screw your cycle up. I almost said a bad word that starts with an F. Can you believe that? That shows how off I am right now. I almost said that. Almost it up. Here we are. See, I told you that Joey is, he's from up there in Canada. He says, blank, censored. I don't remember, maybe less than 200K, for sure right around 100K. My subs named it. Yeah, well, I knew that. And then he says, when can I come on? And this guy doesn't realize I'm live on YouTube in front of 33,800. Is it still that low? I think it's probably gone up. 97,219 people watching right now. Joey, how dare you talk to me like that? Hey, if you're watching right now, I'm going to screenshot it and I'm going to put it up here, what you said, because that's nasty. But I was right. He said around 100,000. And that's what I expected. I think obviously it didn't hurt him. His channel exploded well after that. I think, an argument can be made that he benefited from that. I don't know that it would have that effect on us, though. If we were to change, we are KG Tropicals now. And I just think we've gone too far to change it to this old fish house. But I sure would love to. And you know what? Somebody's going to do it. Somebody's going to take it. And it's just not going to make sense if they don't have an old fish house like I do. It's not going to make sense. Now I'm receiving a phone call from another YouTuber. Why do these people do this? Why do they do this to me? Do you not know what I do on Thursday nights at 8 o'clock? Yeah, don't curse. You're on microphone. All right, I will. Bye. Well, they can't hear you now. After you curse once, I knew better than to keep you on there. All right. Bye. Aquafunk. He's an idiot. These people, they don't think I have a job. They don't think I work. I can't yell at Joey because I texted him first, but I can yell at him for what he said. And I'm going to tell you what, I could get some money out of him if I screenshotted that. I could get some money. Joey, I'm coming for you if you don't stay straight. Anyway, I'm having some fun tonight. This is good. Love, Dream, and Drone just decided, you know what? I don't want to say anything. I put in something, but I'm gonna take it back and retracted the message. I'm I'm curious to know what it was that you said. And then Stephanie McGettigan. I think I said that right on the first try. I think I did. And became a member. Welcome to the team. Yeah, there's Aquafunk. He's all embarrassed. When somebody is surprised, they say, what do they say? They say, "Oh, S." That's what he said. But thankfully, I didn't have the earpiece up to the... I don't know why people do this to me. There it is. Began with cloudy water. Didn't KN. Green water bloom. Many water changes before UV. I think I took out all the benefit. See, that's what it is. I do not blame you for using a UV sterilizer to try to clear up that green water bloom. I mean, I probably wouldn't have done that, but that doesn't mean it's wrong. That just means I did get your name right. Good. Stephanie. I love it. I probably would not have done the UV sterilizer, but it's okay. I'm not saying that you did it wrong. I think that what happened there, love, dream, and drone. I'm going to be droning at the new place. I can't do too much of it on YouTube because then it'll be real easy for people to find the house. I've heard of that happening before where people use their drone over their house and then they put it on YouTube and then people are like, "Oh, that looks just like Google Maps." I'm not going to do that, but I'll be flying my drone a lot. But there's a lot of ways I would have tried to get rid of the green water without the UV sterilizer, and people like LR Bretts would probably yell at you for trying to get rid of that green water. Alex probably would too, but I think that it was your attempts and your work and all of the stuff that you were doing, and then you added this piece and it just all came crashing down. I think that's what happened there. And the unfortunate thing is, most likely, if you had just kind of left it alone, it probably would have figured it out. It probably would have gone away on its own. I'm just saying. Maybe not. It could have gotten worse to the point where you can't even see the back of the tank. But there's a real good chance that it would have cleared up on its own. And then nothing would have happened. That's one of those cases where we mess with it so much that it actually does more harm than good. But you know what? Every single thing that happens in your aquariums is a learning experience. So you learn from that. You know better now. And you move on. Killing all the algae / green water at once can sometimes cause ammonia and nitrites to spike. Blackout is probably safest. I love green water personally. See, there you go. That was from Alex, just like I said. I respect the natural aquarium movement. I respect the people like Alex and Lucas and all of those crazy hippies that keep their aquariums green. It's not my thing, but I respect it. There's a lot of things that aren't my thing, but that doesn't mean they're not awesome. It just means that it's just not for me. I have fake plants in that tank. That would be blaspheme to Alex or to Lucas or really 3/4 of the people on YouTube for that matter. But we're all into what we're into, and that's what it is. KG Tropicals, an Ornate update on the Ornate Bicher I'm bringing you. He is now around 14 to 15 inches. This guy, I don't understand this guy. I don't understand him. I don't understand how Eric Furlow is coming to our new place in North Carolina, and he's getting a hotel, and he's coming up there with a friend who I've never met, and he's bringing me a huge biker to go in that tank, an Ornate that I've wanted forever. I don't understand this guy. I don't know what I did to this guy to deserve something like that, but it's going to be a real difficult thing for me to repay that guy. I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I got to figure out something. Leo 209 Aquatics, John, we want Rico Stan for president. What do you like better as a nano fish? A pea puffer or a sparkling gourami? Well, I have pea puffers. I do not have sparkling gouramis. What's that tell you? That does not mean I do not like sparkling gouramis, but I just really like pea puffers. I think they're absolutely adorable. Love, Dream, and Drone. Again, this person is like, I feel like paying John's mortgage payment this month. They just bought a new house. I'm just going to keep sending all this money. I tried everything before, legit. Yeah, well, see, listen. That goes back to what I was saying. You probably tried yourself into a problem. One of the very first lessons I learned in this hobby, I talked about it on stage at Aquashella. One of the first things that I learned about this hobby is sometimes it's best left alone. I was struggling with an aquarium. I went to every pet store. Nobody wanted to help me because people were jerks back then. They weren't like they are now, where everybody wants to help each other and it's all this beautiful community. It wasn't like that. It was, hey, you want to know how to fix that? You got to go home and kill some fish. That's how you learn. I've literally had people tell me that. But it was a friend that told me, because he had an aquarium once. He didn't know anything, but he did know, hey, leave it alone and let it do its thing for a little bit and then see what happens. And guess what? Like magic, a couple of weeks later, it didn't even look like it had water in it. It was so clear. So sometimes you got to leave it alone. You don't have to leave it alone to the point of an Alex or a Lucas, but, and that was not meant to be a dig at them. I mean, like I said, I like that stuff. I'm not going to do that in my tanks. But sometimes you just got to walk away and you got to let nature take its course. Now, if your fish start dying and you start having real bad problems like that, obviously you need to do something. But if your tank just isn't perfect, sometimes it just needs a little bit of growing up. It just has a little growing up to do, and that's all. The Novice Gamer became a member. I got to a level 112 on Fortnite this season. I didn't buy any levels either. Secret Live. It's just Alex. It's just Alex. Because $5 totally helps out your mortgage. But best wishes on the move, guys. Thank you. And best wishes to you too, my friend. You've been through quite a bit recently, haven't you? I appreciate that very much. It's, we're homeowners now. If we don't pay the bills, big problems happen. When you're renting, if you don't pay the bills, you can be like COVID and they can't kick you out. I make my living on YouTube. Give me a break. Can't do that when you have a mortgage. They're like, all right, get out. We're going to sell the house. In fact, the house that we bought 20 years ago was a foreclosure. You want to hear something interesting about it? I'm not going to say the actual numbers because then you're going to think this house is more than it is. I want to say late 90s, early 2000s, there's like a huge real estate boom. Like everything was going crazy. In fact, I know it was the early 2000s. That house was sold to someone that lived in California. And I don't know about you, but when I hear that somebody lives in California, I automatically think they're rich because California. This family in California bought this house and they paid, I can't do math on Thursdays, but it's like 2.5 times what the house is worth now. So let's talk about ridiculous numbers. If we paid $100,000 for it, we didn't. I wish we did. They paid $250 for it back then. Those are not the real numbers. They're significantly higher than that. But and then it got foreclosed. And when it sold at foreclosure, it sold for like 1/10 of what they paid. And that was the guy that bought it, that we bought it from. Bought it as a foreclosure 17 years ago. And he made a bunch of money off of us, but good for him because he had it for 17 years and took real good care of it. Did some improvements to it, replaced one of the HVAC systems. It has 3. That makes it sound like a big house. It's not a big house. It's an old house that's been added on to multiple times. So they would put on an addition and put a new air conditioning and heating system back there. So that's why it has 3 systems. It's not because it's a big house. So he's done a lot to it and did a real good job keeping up with it. And we stole the house from him, if I'm being honest. I can tell you this is a fact. The house we bought in North Carolina would be $1.5 million where I live right here. And we didn't even pay. We paid way less than a third of that. Way less than a third of that. So, again, to the person who asked me why we're moving to North Carolina, that's why. Love, Dream, and Drone, again, because he hasn't paid the whole mortgage yet this month. Couldn't see my fish or plants or anything. Left it alone 4 weeks, not clear. Okay, well, I've never said I'm always right. I'm not the prince. Not Prince. Was he what was he on The Princess Bride? And if I'm wrong, and I'm never wrong, they're in the fire swamp. I don't remember what he was, but I'm wrong from time to time. Sometimes you do have problems that are not going to take care of themselves. And I wish it could have helped you there, but what are you going to do? This one I'm gonna not say it right, and I apologize. Jalmar Vargas. It's probably not the right way. Real good question. Where to find an accurate thermometer for my freshwater tank on a reasonable price? Any suggestions? You know, the sad part about it is the reasonable price part. And I don't mean that to be insulting, because to get the most accuracy with something like that, with anything that measures anything, you got to pay the big money. And that's unfortunate. The more cost-effective thermometers that are out there, I have found, I know I'm going to get ridiculed for this, but the good old floating mercury thermometers, the glass thermometers, we sell them on our website. In fact, I tried ordering 60 of them and accidentally ordered 600 of them. So I got plenty. And that was like a year ago. We've still got a lot of them. But we sell those on our website because they're dirt cheap. I think they're like $2. And they're accurate. My vision as an old man is starting to decline. So sometimes I have to kind of look at it like that. But I love those. I mean, I think they're as accurate as you get. So I hope that helps you. And what in the world is happening here with Regina Phalanges and her absolutely adorable Chihuahua, long-haired Chihuahua, which at least I think is a long-haired Chihuahua in her avatar. I can't help in person with the move, but but I hope this helps the fuel fund, or Lisa can buy grapes for Frank. That's $100 super chat, folks. That is absolutely out of control. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You're such a huge supporter for us already. Wow, you did not need to do that. That is so amazing. That'll buy a lot of grapes for Frank. And I'm going to tell you something. I am, I'm still fighting her on taking Frank with us down there. We're going to be those people. I mean, there's already, John's excited about the news. What's the news? Oh, the fact that Whip's World is a crazy person and he's coming to North Carolina to help us. There are possums down there already. In fact, the channel members have, did they? I think they did. But if they didn't, it's going to be in the video. When Lisa and I were ripping out the floor, preparing it for the concrete, she found a possum skull in there. And I'll tell you a funny story. This was not funny if you were me, but it would have been funny if it were you to see me do this. Bring it back to the Money Pit. You've seen the movie The Money Pit, haven't you? Where Tom Hanks is standing, and I think he's counting money. And then all of a sudden he starts doing what Tom Hanks does. He starts looking around, and all of a sudden he starts sinking down into the floor. And then he ends up caught in the rug in a big hole in the floor, and he's dangling. You know what I'm talking about. If you've seen the movie, it's hilarious. And he starts making little airplanes and throwing them, making airplanes out of the money. Well, that happened to me about 12 times, and happened to CJ a couple times too. The soil in the coastal plains of North Carolina is beach-like. I mean, it's very, very sandy. I think I've said this before, so sandy, you can literally like run your hand down in it and pick it up, and it's sand. I don't know how I'm going to get grass to grow there. I need a grass expert to help me. There's grass on the property, but I want to make it look nice. But underneath the floor in the old fish house, which we were calling the store at the time, when we ripped the floor up, it's just sand. And I would be walking along and all of a sudden, boop, sink like 3 feet down into the sand. A couple of times past my knees. And it's wild because I never got hurt. When we ripped the floors up, there were nails, the heads of nails, left sticking out of the floor joists. Because we ripped the floors out. The floor joists were still there. So imagine a piece of wood going across with 1 million nails sticking out of it. The last thing you would want is to miss your footing and end up going straight down. It shocks me that I didn't get caught on one of those nails, rip my thigh open and hit the freaking artery, and all of a sudden, I mean, nightmares. The stuff nightmares are made out of, but it never happened. Somehow it was it really did remind me of the scene on, it's like quicksand. Yes. It's the scene on Money Pit, because it was like, oh, I'm sinking. And all of a sudden you're down in there. Well, we never figured out what those were. We had a North Carolinian there from town. He was actually the guy that referred the concrete guy to me. He came out, and if I found something like that, but okay, I'm getting ahead of myself. As I was falling into the earth when this kept happening, these massive holes would appear, like caves underneath the sand. And you can see them like in some of the video, in the background, you can see these massive holes in the ground. Being someone that's from Virginia, if I saw something like that in Virginia, I immediately think foxhole. Because it's huge, way bigger than a gopher's hole, and much bigger than a rabbit hole. So I immediately think foxholes. So this guy comes, and he's the first guy that I talked to about the concrete. He referred me to the guy that actually ended up doing the concrete. And I said, yeah, you might want to be careful when you step down there, because there's a bunch of foxholes in there. And he did one of these things. He was looking, and I said that, and he looked at me like that, like, what did you just say, Virginia boy? And I said, he didn't say those words to me, but I knew that's what he was thinking when he looked at me like that. That was his way of saying, are you crazy? And I said, I assumed they were foxholes. Are they not foxholes? He said, they ain't foxholes. That ain't no foxholes. Like, okay. What are they then? They're not foxholes. So I don't know what they were. There was some large creatures living under this. They're no longer there. And in one of those cavernous caves, Lisa found a skull of a possum. And she shows it in one of the videos. So be looking forward to that. Woodchuck dens, tremors. Yes. Or is that the Kevin Bacon movie? That's the Kevin Bacon movie, right? Yeah, that's exactly what that was. It was scary. The first time it happened, I had no idea it was going to happen. And I'm just like, we're pulling up the floors. And so there's no crawl space. The floor joists were practically sitting on the ground. There was a huge beam, and then there was floor joists going across, but there was only about that much space between the ground and the floor joists. You'll see all this in the video that I do about the floor that's coming up. So I'm not trying to balance on the floor joists. I'm standing on the ground and straight down I went. It was pretty scary, but I never ended up getting hurt, thankfully, because that could have been real ugly, real fast. Hillbilly Aquatics came in with, it's not aquatics, it's just aquatic. Came in with the fist bump pair. Thank you so much for that, my friend. Love Dream Drone is out of control with the super chats. Also, my Betta has a lump on his tail fin before the green water. Lord have mercy, you are just having a heck of a time with your aquarium. In our experience, those big bumps are not something that you're going to be able to fix. They're most likely tumors, and it's unfortunate. Is it something that can be fixed by a veterinarian that specializes in fish? Probably. But it would be outrageously expensive, and I wouldn't even be able to tell you where to find somebody like that. So I don't know, but maybe somebody may have given you some pointers on this, but I can tell you when we find them, we get a lot of betas in here. And when we find those, we automatically say, that's not one that we're going to be able to sell. Because, sometimes we get fish in and there's little flaws and we're like, okay, it's going to be okay. You give it some time and the fish will heal, or, maybe they nipped a fin or something like that. But when it's that, we're like, yeah, that's not going to heal. I don't want to say the fish is a goner because we do not euthanize fish, but going to be sellable? Probably not. Leo 209 Aquatics coffee fund for the move. Going to need lots of it. Best of luck on the move. You two are the best. P.S. We miss Lisa on both streams. You're still awesome. California living is Well, with the amount of super chats and orders you put in, Leo, apparently everybody is rich in California. Good grief. Yeah, you know what? Lisa wasn't with me on the members only stream yesterday either. And that's because she was putting in work. And I don't know if I've mentioned this yet today. There is a possibility, ladies and gentlemen, that next Thursday may be our last stream for a while. And it's going to be at least a couple of weeks because we're going to have the move and all of that. But then also, I don't know if the internet, I don't know yet. I'm going to find out this weekend, but I don't know yet if the internet can handle what the internet needs to be able to handle if it's streaming. So I got all the computers for it. I got the it's not a computer issue. It's an internet issue. Elon Musk, I got his internet, and hopefully it's strong enough to carry the stream. The speed tests that I've done on it so far say that it is. But again, I've explained this before. It all blurs together. I don't know if I said it on the member stream or here, but the thing with streaming is you need the consistency of the internet. And Elon's internet goes from satellite to give you the best signal possible. And when it makes that transition from one signal to another, you can have a little blip. You wouldn't notice it if you were watching something or if you were surfing the internet. But if you're on a stream, it may be one of those things that there's a little hiccup for us. I don't know. If that's all it is, then I'm fine with that. But if it's something that, every 45 seconds, it's like, I'm not going to tolerate that. 1.21 gigahertz. Yeah, that's exactly what we need. It's hopefully it's strong enough. Speed test says that it is. I'm not going to know until I do a test. And I don't have a computer down there yet. I will have my laptop down there this weekend. I'm going to get the system permanently installed this weekend. I'm doing it. I'm not getting it installed. I'm going to do it. And then I'll be able to do my tests and stuff like that. Starlink, John, yeah, you'll be fine. Elon said he has no problem supporting your 78,492. Yeah, I mean, if Elon knew I had almost 80,000 people on here watching, he'd be like, hey, we need to get that guy the best Starlink. But, you know, I mean, I've heard it both ways. I've heard a lot of people say streaming is not going to be a problem. And then I've had some say, it might drop off every once in a while. We're just going to have to see. But next week, we will be here. It'll be our last one sitting here. Because the very next day, this computer, this desk, these tanks, everything is getting on the truck and going down there. And I just don't know if I'll be set up by that following Thursday. I'm going to be down there by myself, twiddling my thumbs. I'm going to have a lot of stuff to do. But if I can get everything set up and the stream is stable, I'll do it. It's part of my job, and I love doing it. This has been so much fun. But what I will tell you is this. If I stream immediately after moving down there, it is going to be just me for at least the first 2 weeks, because Lisa's still going to be here. And so it'll just be me. So you'll be dealing with me for, well, no, because Lisa will be here next week. Unless something catastrophic happens, she'll be here next week. There is one Thursday coming up where neither one of us will be streaming, no matter what the internet situation is, because that's the night that our son graduates from high school. Sorry. Can't be streaming on that night. But other than that, you know, well, anyway, I'm rambling now. I go way too long on these. I go way too long on my rants. Dwayne Moretta. I was checking temps with the infrared thermometer the other day and learned that Oscars will chase a laser. That is adorable. I'll have to try that. I don't have one of those yet. I plan on getting one. But I've seen them. They're really cheap now for those, the laser ones. I got to pick one of those up. That'd be funny because I like using the laser pointers to play with cats. I love doing all of that. Miles Diaz became a member. Welcome to the team, Miles. Glad to have you. The J is silent, so it's Halmar Vargas. I hope I said it right that time. So mercury over digital. I have 3 75-gallon tanks with discus. Is that the final answer? Listen, if you got 3 of the glass mercury thermometers, first of all, you're going to pay under $10 for all 3, and they are going to give you very accurate temperatures. I mean, I can remember as a kid, outside of the kitchen window of my house growing up was one of those old school thermometers hung up, and I would look at that and be like, oh, it's 29 degrees. I got to put a coat on to go wait for the school bus. They've always been reliable, and I think they're reliable on the aquariums too. Tell you a funny story. When I don't even remember when this was. It was a long time ago. I started sending packages all over the place to test out shipping fish. And what I would do is I would take one of those little thermometers, put it in a bag instead of a fish. I would bag up the thermometer, and then I would ship that thermometer. And then when I get it, I would pull it out, and I would just be able to look in the bag and look at the thermometer. Oh, it's still 77 degrees. That's good. You know, that process works. So that's how dependable I think they are. But some people can have a hard time reading them. I don't know, but even me sometimes. Love Dream Drone again, twice. Just keeps on keeping on with the money. It's crazy now. It's getting ridiculous. Soon it's going to be the mortgage payment and the car payment. The lump came out of nowhere. That can happen with tumors. It sucks, but it can happen. It can happen with us too. You know what I'm saying? So that sucks. Hannah Fowler, John, in Orlando for vacation and went to SeaWorld. I saw the biggest silver arowana I've ever seen. I had no idea they got that big. It was easily 2.5 feet and was well rounded. Thought of you. That's awesome. I've actually owned one that was 2.5 feet long. That was my guy. That was my guy that passed away on Father's Day. But I can actually break that record. I went to a public aquarium, not Orlando. I want to say it was Baltimore. I don't know. It was either DC or Baltimore. This was like 25 years ago. And there was one that it was the biggest I'd ever seen. And it was well over 3 feet. It was gigantic. And it was in a tank the size of the Amazon. I mean, you know, it's a public aquarium. Absolutely massive. The biggest one I've ever seen. And then the second biggest one I've ever seen was at a store in Northern Virginia that I do not remember the name of. It has long since closed down, as so many of them have, unfortunately. This store had a large man-made square pond. And when I say square, you know, it's like a box on the ground, which made it a pond. It had the pond liner in it and everything. And they had maybe like 2 feet of water in it. So all of the fish you were looking down on, and they had an arowana in there that was so big that the first second I saw it, I thought it was an arapaima. I was like, oh, is that an arapaima? Nope, wait a minute. What? Huh? What? That's an arowana. Holy cow, that's the biggest one I've ever seen. Yeah, they can get to be monsters. I will have another big one day. I will have another. That sounded so weird. Don't you think that way? Just don't do it. Sarah Hallowell, you could always do a live stream via your mobile. I could see doing a live stream on mobile if I was going to do something like Lucas does, where I'm just kind of walking around. That's been awesome. I've been watching all of he's walking around his new property and stuff. And I'm like, oh, that's so cool. It's so fun. He's doing that out of necessity because he's so overwhelmed with his move. I know the feeling. He's, you know, it's like this is taking the place of a video because I ain't got time to sit around and edit. I'm going to walk around with, and it works. It works out really good. Lucas has always done that. And that's been so much fun. And I could see myself doing that. But I don't know. We'll have to see. You know, you do have to be a little bit protective of the property because unfortunately this is the internet and you hear the stories of people showing up at YouTubers' houses. And usually it's not to do bad things, but I still don't want somebody walking up to my house. Check out the ones at Ohio Fish Rescue. Yeah, I mean, I know they've got some big ones. The Ohio Fish Rescue's got some big ones. You're welcome, Rich. But yeah, I mean, walking around with the phone on mobile, I could see doing that. We'll see. You know, I love doing this. It is a lot of fun. It's more fun when Lisa's here, but it is a lot of fun. I don't want to give it up. If it has to be given up, it's going to be because there's no other choice. I don't want to see that happen. I enjoy this too much. 74,319 people watching right now. Who wouldn't love putting on a show in front of all of these beautiful people? So yeah, I don't want to give up on that. I will be, wait a minute. I missed Zebra Gaming. Sorry, Zebra Gaming. And I also missed Sarah. No, I didn't miss Sarah. Thank you again, Sarah. Leslie Perry, I will be crushed if y'all can't live stream anymore. Me and the, wow, 758,684 other folks. I think that might be the record for the stream. Holy moly, that's a lot of people. You want to see somebody evacuate in their pants. You will see that live if there was 758,684 people in here watching. I don't, that would freak me out. 75,000 people, I'd be like, all right, this is cool. This is fun. Like, wow, this is a huge thing. But that many, I mean, like, there wasn't that many people watching Will Smith smack Chris Rock. I mean, that's like Daytona 500 numbers. That would freak me out. Who's got an oversized ego? You don't want a bunch of strangers showing up at your brand new house. That's exactly right. Now y'all might criticize me for this because I'm 47. I'm a grandfather. But I am going to be the first to tell you the honest truth. I don't listen to his music, but I watch a lot of Ryan Upchurch videos. The guy is entertaining as every 4-letter word. And he was telling the story of that happening to him. Now, Ryan Upchurch is massive. I mean, he's got like 7 million subscribers on YouTube. His channel gets like 80 million views a month. That guy is at an elite level. I'm not even 1/100th of his channel. So, you know, but Joey's got a story where something like that happened with him. And Ryan Upchurch was telling about that. And the guy was nasty about it. The guy pulled up in his driveway and, you know, Ryan Upchurch is not the kind of guy that you just pull up on. I mean, North Carolina's this way too, so look out. But, you know, he's in an area of Tennessee where if you are not carrying, you're the minority. And you pulled up in somebody's driveway, it's not going to work out well for you. And it didn't work out well for that guy. Now, of course, he didn't hurt the guy or, you know, attack him or anything. But he blasted him with his words. I didn't mean to make it sound like he shot him or anything. It wasn't like that at all. But he explained it in the way that only Ryan Upchurch can of, you know, this MFer said this and said that, and he was pissed because he felt like he had he was entitled to be there because he is my employer. And it was one of those people, you know, I watch your videos, I pay your salary, I buy your music. And that guy, yeah, he let him have it. Ryan Upchurch did. And I would imagine he was a whole lot, I would imagine I would be a lot nicer about it than he would have been, but I would not be nice because I don't know you. And Philip Stevenson doesn't get the joke. But I don't know you. Not you, Philip. The guy who pulls up in my driveway. I don't know you, so I don't have to be nice to you. You know me, but I don't know you. So we're not friends. And I would have a real big problem with that. My wife sleeps here. And you're going to drive up in my driveway? Mm-mm. You're going to meet an ugly side of John. I promise you that. Whips World coming in with all the cats and all the foam fingers and the packed suitcase and the coming soon. That guy is a madman. Not only does he look like Zakk Wylde, but apparently he behaves like a wild man, like Zakk Wylde. And he's going to make the trip to North Carolina. That guy's nuts. I don't know what to tell you. Him and Furlow and Furlow's friend and the Ornate Bicher, they're all crazy. But that's going to be a lot of fun. And Lisa said it's actually 4,950. Let's not give Philip a hard time. Philip doesn't know the joke. Philip was thinking, is this guy special needs or something? He thinks there's 92,000 people watching him. That's, yeah. But anyway, yeah, I got to talk faster. Thank you, Liquid Zoo. Vargas, I just have to say it like that. You got it right, and thanks for your answer. I will do that. Good luck with your moving. Thank you. Thank you so much for all of that. Whips World coming soon. That guy. I wish you could bring some of that pizza with you, but it wouldn't be good by the time you came, so don't worry about it. The best I can do for you, where I'm at, Wits World, is Pizza Hut. I love Pizza Hut. I'm not going to lie to you. But yeah, that's as good as I can do. Sarah Hallowell, you've done it before when you had a power cut and you could do it out of the fish house. Plus, that squiggly is British pounds. Thank you. Thank you for that, because that always confuses me. You are right. I have done it from the van. You know, we're going to figure something out. As if Regina Phalanges, it's like she's like, well, I want to go ahead and pay their insurance now. I've already paid their car payment. You're going to need a big projection dog. My avatar is my lap dog. Always have a big, smart, and capable Dutch Shepherd keeping watch. Trying to get Lisa to allow me to get another dog, a bigger dog. I'm not going to get a crazy dog, but I want a bigger dog that'll make lots and lots of noise when people pull up in the driveway. But I think my Beagle will do just fine with that. And Rustic Nashville says, see some of y'all at Aquaticon. Yeah, I really, really wish I could have made it to Aquaticon. I'm going to have to miss it this year. I think everybody knows why. If they do it again next year, I hope to make the trip. That will be a lot of fun. Folks, this has been a blast. I've been running my mouth nonstop for an hour and a half. You are sick of hearing me, I promise. That happened to Jenna Marbles and Julian. Yeah, see? It was a mother and brought her daughters to ring their... Yeah, you see what I'm saying? People do that. Nobody's ever done that to me. And I don't think anybody ever will. But like I said, again, Joey, it happened to Joey. Guy walked up to his kids in the driveway. I ain't playing with that. And Joey didn't play with that. I'm going to go Ryan Upchurch on somebody if they pull up in my house. This is North Carolina, Jack. You ain't in Connecticut anymore, or wherever you're coming from. You know, it's a different world down here. Anyway, this was a lot of fun, folks. Thank you all so much for tolerating me for the last hour and a half. Lisa could tell you I was like this before the stream, and look at me now. I'm wide awake. I'm not even going to be able to sleep tonight because that's what these streams do to me. I have so much fun. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. Thank you to the mods for keeping things under control. I know how hard of a job that is, and I appreciate it very much. Thank you to all of the people that super chatted and all 91,384 people that watched this stream. Thank you all so much. I love you, and I will see you next week, which I hope will not be the last stream on this channel.